Trigger warning, pedophilia, sexual exploitation. One time in 7th grade my friend, let's call her Susan, invited me and some other friends over to her house for a sleepover. I always got a weird vibe from her dad but I just ignored it. When we got there her dad said that at night he would take all of our phones. I thought this was weird and he said it was because he didn't want us up all night on our phones. Now, me and Susan look kinda similar, so her dad said he had to get a picture of us together. I stood next to Susan ready for the picture but he said no, let's take the picture upstairs. I went with Susan and her dad upstairs and he took me into his room and asked us to sit at the foot of his bed, our backs to him. I thought this was really creepy, but I didn't want to say anything. Then her dad said to me, no, sit like Susan. I looked over at Susan, and she was sitting there with her butt at the air on her knees. I did it, but the fact that Susan's dad has a picture of me sitting on my knees with my butt in the air haunts me. Oh yeah, and Susan bullied me for like, all of 7th grade from Anonymous.
Hey guys, story time. When I was in kindergarten I was on the bus sitting next to this mean-ass bitch, I don't remember her name. There was a girl behind us and she kept saying her stomach hurted and that she needed to poop. So me and the girl I was sitting next to, we straight ignored that bitch. So time flew by on the bus, and then I start smelling shit, like literally disgusting, smelling like dog shit ass poop. So I look under the seat and I see this big ass pile of diarrhea poop. That shit stunk. I couldn't help myself and I kept looking under the seat to look at the poop. The girl next to me kept telling me to stop looking at it. Like, bitch, if you don't shut yo skin tone chicken bone Google Chrome no home flip phone disowned ice cream cone garden gnome extra chromosome metronome dimidome genome full blown monochrome student loan Indiana Jones overgrown Flintstone X and Y hormone friend zone Sylvester Stallone Sierra Leone AutoZone professionally seen silver patron head ass the fuck up, I'll beat your ass. Eventually someone came on the bus and picked up the poop.
When I was in 7th grade, I met this girl in my bus and her name was Lexi. Well, me and Lexi got really close. My middle school was divided into 3 different schools, so me and Lexi went to the same school but a different section of our school, and we also took the same bus. Anyways, one day when I was walking to class through one of the schools, I saw this cute-ass guy and I asked her about him cause she went to school with him, and she told me that it was one of her friends. And that if I wanted her to mention me to him, well, of course I want you to mention me to him, bitch, I think he's cute. Well, he sent me a little note telling me I was cute or whatever, and then we kept sending notes to each other. But one day as I was walking through one of the schools to get to my class, I saw him with a group of friends and they all started laughing at me. I got really embarrassed and didn't know what was happening, so I went to see Lexi to ask her why he was laughing at me.
One time in 8th grade a cute guy added me on Snap and we started talking, and it turned out he lived in my neighborhood, so one night I snuck into his house and we both said we liked each other and started making out. Then it just got rated R. His mom ran into his room crying because she found her cat dead and walked into us. You know. Anyways, we are married now and family reunions are awkward.
One time I was on a date with my crush. We went to the movies and everything was going great until I noticed my teacher and principal together. They were both married, so we were shocked. After the movie finished, they confronted us and told us to stay quiet about their affair. But I was smarter and decided to blackmail them in return for perfect grades. They actually gave me and my crush straight A's. At the end of the year I exposed them and they both ended up leaving the school. They got what they deserved and I got my perfect grades.
One time at lunch my best friend wanted to make out with a boy in the bathroom and asked me to take the second girl's pass so that nobody could come to the bathrooms, and the boy's friend did the same. Then we all went to the bathroom and my friend went into the boy's bathroom, so I left her there and she said she would be back in 10 minutes. After 10 minutes I went back to the bathroom and she was still in there, so I thought she was going to get raped, so I burst in and saw my friend crying. I grabbed her arm and tried to drag her out, but then a teacher came in and detained us all as if it was a motherfucking crime scene. They told us to give them our phones and I got to go to the office, and the teacher questioned me like it was a Q&A, like, bitch, fuck off. Then she let me go and back to class and I started having a panic attack.
So back in 8th grade I used to be friends with this super rich white girl who was totally fake, but I didn't realize it at the time. Anyways, we were having dinner at her house when her brother comes in. And when I tell you this man was hot, he was drop on the floor and I kind of hot. My mouth dropped like a fish out of water and he looked at me kinda weird. Anyways, fast forward to when my friend and I were getting into bed to go to sleep. I heard this big thump on her wall. My friend was taking a shower so she didn't hear it, and so I went into the next room and sure enough her brother was there in nothing but a towel and this man's was ripped. We were just staring at each other for what felt like 30 minutes until he smiled and said, "Take a picture, it'll last longer." And ever since I was young I've always been good at witty comebacks, so I just blurted out, "Take off the towel and then I'll have something to photograph." And he laughed and shut the door behind me and asked if I've ever given head before, and I said no. So he said, "It's okay, I won't judge you since it's your first time." So I gave him that Glock 3000 and now we have been dating for 3 years.